Nonviolence is a weapon of the strong. No matter how thin you slice it, there will always be two sides. Anything you dream is fiction, and anything you accomplish is science. The whole history of mankind is nothing but science fiction. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Live every day as your last, because one of these days it will be. Only those who can afford not to lie are free. He who is to be a good ruler must have first been ruled. The greatest risk is not taking one. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Give without expecting anything in return. You need to stop the habit of doubting yourself. Waiting for change while not doing anything for it is like waiting for the train at a bus stop. A blind man is a poor guide until it gets dark. We have two lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. It's not your fault things are the way they are. You can't wait for inspiration. You have to go after it with a club. Remember, 5 years ago, you dreamed about being where you are now. Think about it. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Life will only come around once, so do whatever makes you happy. Those who are hardest to love need it the most. What one man calls God, another calls the laws of physics. Hatred is a curse that does not affect the hated. It only poisons the hater. Release a grudge as if it was poison. Never tell your friends your plans. Stop putting too much trust in them. Don't let anyone know what you're doing until it's done. Time always exposes what you truly mean to someone. Be correct with everyone, sociable with many, close to the elect, friend to the few. It is nothing to die. It is frightful not to live. If a woman is angry, it means she is not only wrong, but also she knows it. If someone is trying to bring you down, they are already below you. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. Not everybody wants to be your friend, and that's okay. You really don't want everybody as a friend anyway. The only time you should ever look back is to see how far you've come. Embrace stress as the opposite of apathy. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. A leader is a dealer in hope. Keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. When you work for someone else, you have the right only to labor, not to the fruits of your labor. True love begins when nothing is looked for in return. Don't read a quote and say, "This is wise," but read a quote and say, "How can I relate this to my life?" Better 50% now than 100% never. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're being judged no matter what, so be who you want to be. Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become. And the same is true of fame. What Paul says about Peter tells us more about Paul than about Peter. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. The truth is, everyone is going to hurt you. You just gotta find the ones worth suffering for. Be loyal or stay single. That's simple. Never say maybe if you want to say no. When you are angry, stay silent. You don't have to win every argument. Agree to disagree. At some point, you will realize no one else has a say in your life unless you let them. You are confined only by the walls you build yourself. Where your fear is, there is your task. If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. When you work for someone else, you have the right only to labor, not to the fruits of your labor. Children make so much noise you can't think, but when they leave the house forever, the silence is maddening.